All right, so I'm on board. I got up to the buffet, and as usual, I look at the cheeseburger first, when I get on any ship. So let's take a look at what we have out of a hotel pan. Burgers already assembled. Unlike a few of the other ships, I put mayonnaise, ketchup, and some bacon on it because it was there, and there were not any onions to put on my burger. I like an onion on my burger now and then. So, and it wasn't assembled very well at all. It's lacking flavor, even with all that bacon on it. I don't believe this. I have to put salt on the cheeseburger if it comes out. Let me see if that helped it. I mean, it's a burger. The bread is kind of falling apart. You can push it down, and when you squeeze it, they cook most of the grease out, and grease is what makes a burger tasty. That's where the flavor is. So when they turn them into a hockey puck, they just end up tasting like shit, right? No, had enough of that. And of course, there were fries next to the burger. Worst fries on a ship so far. These are the same as the frozen ones that you get at Walmart. You pop in your air fryer. No. I can have that at home anytime I want. I will finish up the bacon though. Funny thing, talking about the bacon. Good thing we aren't on a Carnival cruise because there's a whole toe pan of bacon, crumbled up into pieces to put on your burger. And there's a kid in front of me in line. And by the way, I don't understand the number of kids I've seen on the ship. Shouldn't they be in school? I don't get it. They're under my feet everywhere right now. But this kid, he grabbed 1 scoop of bacon, 2 scoops of bacon. He went on like 8 freaking scoops. He had a mound like 3 inches high until his father grabbed him by his collar and pulled him away. But, I have a couple of little accoutrements here. There was a pesto macaroni salad. It's not bad. But with just about everything I've had so far, it's lacking seasoning. It's supposed to be pesto, but I'm picking up on one strange flavor that I can't make out. Okay, so I'm on to the other plate I grabbed. Some things I wanted to sample. Some potato puffs, a beef enchilada. This is a chicken spread, this is an egg salad, and this is a tuna. And I'm a little concerned because it's only been sitting out here for 5 minutes. But, and this is why I'm worried. This is my glass of water. It was half filled with ice 5 minutes ago. So if this is warm tuna salad, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through it. It's still out of safe temperature. All right, egg salad. The flavor is there. Yeah, the flavor is there, but the texture is weird. Chicken salad. Now, that is different. I know it's chicken because it tastes like chicken. I know it's chicken because the sign above it said chicken. It eats like mashed potatoes. I'm both afraid and curious at the same time. I think I may have to revisit that at some point during the cruise. So, potato puff. It looks like it has a good cook on it. They're greasy. Greasy how? Think of at breakfast time, McDonald's hash brown. You're basically getting the same thing here. Not that I'm complaining. If you notice, I try everything twice. If I don't quite like it on the first bite, unless it's really horrible, I go into the second bite, the empanada. Not the smell. It is a very fat. All right. It's heavy, but I don't like the texture of the beef on the inside. It's kind of like a mix between hot dog, chili, and cat food. Not that I've ever eaten cat food. All right, so I am at my table. They fixed the mess up with my table assignment rather easily and quickly. I'll give them credit for that. But as a solo traveler, some people love to sit at a group table, a community table. I don't. I don't like to make small talk while I'm eating my dinner. Right? When you sit at one of the shared tables with 8, 10 other people, it turns a 45-minute affair into a 2.5-hour affair. Because they wait for people to finish. They want to serve everything at different times. I mean, it's nuts. So I'm at my table, and the menu on this ship is the same as most of the other MSC ships. I thought maybe it would have a little bit more of a Mediterranean flair, but apparently this is the menu that they're used to using on the other side of the pond as well. Now, everything is scanned via a QR code. There's no paper menu. I would imagine you can ask for one if you want, but make sure you have a nice clean screen on your phone so you can magnify what's on here. I was torn between two different things tonight, a mozzarella stuffed meatball or a fire roasted tomato cream soup, and I went with the soup because for the main course, I'm going with the slow roasted prime rib. I looked ahead. I think it's the only time I saw prime rib that isn't an upcharge. They also had some fried chicken, but that's messy. I have a theory with that ties into buffalo wings. Buffalo wings are meant to eat at home. There's no elegant way to eat them when you're out and about. Then there's a calamari steak on here, some lasagna. But I went with the soup because I'm having a big chunk of meat for the appetizer, and I didn't order dessert. But as each one comes out, we'll take a look at it, we'll critique it, and we'll see if they're any better than the last 3 ships I've been on, which was Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, Royal Caribbean Liberty of the Seas, and there was a Carnival one in there and a few others. But I want to make sure, I want to see that this is an upgrade to the Carnival main dining room and the Royal Caribbean main dining room, because we already know Princess has them beat. Virgin Voyages has them all beat. Norwegian, the food on Norwegian is really good. And then you get into Cunard and Explorer, and it's out of the world. But we'll wait for them to bring it out and see what we have. All right, the soup course is out. It took about 5 minutes. It wasn't bad at all. And let's take a look at what we have. All right, so after French onion soup, I think tomato soup is one of my favorite soups. They have French onion as an option every night. So I'll have that later on during the week. That was the what we saw was the fire roasted creamy tomato, and we can see a layer of oil kind of floating on the top of it. Now I'm hoping that was olive oil that was drizzled over it, and not just fat from the stock. We're gonna find out. It's a little drizzle of olive oil. However, its build is creamy. I've had creamier. But the most important is the taste. I actually think they put a little bit too much olive oil on it because it's giving it a strange mouthfeel. And I can also feel it coming off the spoon, which you definitely shouldn't with a tomato soup. It's not horrible. It's not bad. But with a lot of things I've found thus far on this ship, it needs seasoning, which kind of makes sense. I think they probably still have a full European crew in the kitchen. That made the difference. That's all I needed was a kiss of salt. I'm going to enjoy the rest of it.
Buen provecho.
And just as soon as they took away the bowl for the soup course, within 2 minutes, the prime rib came out. So, all right, we're gonna do this on film. All right. It's a bit of a struggle because on cruise ships they don't give you a real steak knife. What am I talking about? They're too afraid that you might steal it from the main dining room and then go up to the Lido deck and stab someone. You get a knife that's completely blunt on one side and then slightly serrated on the other. And that's why when you saw me cutting into the meat, you saw me struggling. Now, I've struggled more on other cruise lines with their prime rib or their sirloin or whatever steak they may be offering for the night. But this one's actually going through not horribly. Whoa. Wait a minute. It's gravy. It's not jus. I don't know how I feel about that. But regardless, I asked for medium rare. And take a look at that cook. That's medium rare. Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around gravy instead of jus. Okay, main dining room, night 2 here on MSC Grandiosa. For the appetizer, I actually think I'm going to go the steak tartare. Usually that's something I try to avoid on a cruise ship, but the other options are salmon relay, eggplant parm, and lobster bisque, and I'm not feeling it with any of those. And then out of all the entrees, I'm going to go with the filet mignon. It comes with potatoes, steamed asparagus, and mushroom demi-glace. Now, the other items on for this particular seating is wild mushroom pappardelle, duo of broiled lobster tail and grilled jumbo shrimp. I have a feeling most people are going to be getting that. I just don't. I can't do shellfish. And on top of the fillet, there's a chicken scallopini and then a roasted vegetable lasagna. So as usual, when the items come out, we'll take a look at them and figure out if they're good, bad, or otherwise. You think of it, I have run into otherwise. All right, I'm not gonna lie. This dish on cruise ships scares me now and then. Guess what? Let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, that's what it needs. Now, it does come with a Dijon aioli. Let's see how those two go together. Yeah. Yeah, even with the aioli, it needed that salt. So I'm going to finish this tartare, and the next course coming up should be filet mignon. Okay, so for the moment of truth, let's see what's in here. I think that's about as close to medium rare you're going to get on a cruise ship. I really wish that they would give us a real knife to cut meat with in the dining room. You can see here, it's a struggle. You know, it's not fighting me, but it's a struggle. And you can see that it does more tearing than it does cutting. See what I mean? But overall, there you go. All right, the important part. It has a good beefy flavor to it. It kind of tastes what I expect it to taste like. It's not that far off from when you get roast beef at the deli at the supermarket. It's right around those lines with the flavor. Unfortunately, with my heavy salt palate, once I get the rest of this filet cut up, I'm probably going to be salting it. It's a port day. We don't have the brunch down in the main dining room. There is breakfast in the main dining room, but they only run for an hour and a half. And it starts off a little early, so I didn't make it. So off to the buffet I went, and it doesn't look that bad. This is a peach dumpling with not Bavarian cream, but pastry cream. Some scrambled eggs, which don't look that bad. Some corned beef hash. I got some sausage, some ham, and some cheese, because they always have some type of deli meat component. And to top it off, bacon, which is what you don't get on Carnival a lot. And if you do get bacon on Carnival, they have someone handing you one piece at a time. Dinner day 3. What did I do today? I went out to Port to get some fake Newports. I couldn't find any fake Newports, but I found some fake Marlboros. So I got me a carton of menthols. But then I went up on the Lido deck and I just edited everything on my laptop all day long. Might as well get it done while it's fresh in your head. But that also made me hungry. So dinner time, the menu is all electronic. All right, so specials today: mussels in a creamy white wine sauce, chicken lettuce wraps, spinach salad, or Italian wedding soup. Now, you've been following me. Which one am I going to pick? Your guess in 3, 2. If you guessed Italian wedding soup, you are correct. So now we're on to the entrees, and we'll see if you've been following along really well, see where I might be going. The entrees tonight are tagliatelle with seafood, broiled swordfish, Thai chicken red curry, Cabernet braised short ribs, and stuffed portobello. So this is where you participate. What am I getting for dinner? In 3, 2. If you guessed the Cabernet braised short ribs, you are correct. We'll join back with you once the appetizer comes to the table, and we'll dissect it and figure out if it's good or bad or somewhere in between. All right, so I do have a few favorite soups, not in any particular order. French onion, clam chowder, beef with barley, tomato, and this Italian wedding. Italian wedding should be based off a chicken base. And I'll just skim off the top to see what's going on here. All right, yeah. After I did that, take a look at this. There is. What do you see there? All right. I'll tell you what you're seeing there. It's a bunch of fat and oil floating on the top. The good news is I might not have to salt it. It's actually, I think it might be over salted. Wow. The seasoning is there. This is interesting. All right, there we go. All right, there's your meatball. I don't remember potatoes going into French onion or Italian wedding soup. There's another meatball, which, I don't think these are meatballs. I think, looking at the other one, it's a meat log. It's just cut. All right, I'll say it's different. I don't hate it. It is very salty, and I'm saying that with my high salt palate that I have. I'm getting the mouthfeel of the grease and oil on my lips when I'm done. If I was at a land-based restaurant, would I order this again? Probably not. But it's not so bad that I won't finish it.
Hello, good evening, sir. Nope. Big smile.
All right, so main course is out. Polenta, or some people would say polenta. It's set up already. It has flavor. I won't need to season it. However, the temperature on it has dropped so much, it's not melting anything. Although, now that I think of it, Gorgonzola cheese really doesn't melt. It spreads a little bit and softens up. This is still relatively firm. Very, very erratic knife cuts on the carrots. Nothing uniform. They're all over the place. Very strange knife cuts. All right, let's see what's going on. They tried to season it. I mean, they added something to the water that steamed it or the water it was cooked in. The broccoli looks a little scary. All right. Yeah, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. It's not as bright green as the other night, so I'm not expecting anything incredible here. It has some seasoning, but it's waterlogged. Now on to the star of the show, the short rib. The short rib pulls apart really well. And that was a huge piece for a presentation, but I'm going to break it down just a little bit. All right, there is some gravy that was placed on the plate for a sauce. I do see some fat floating on top of it. It has a lot of flavor. It's concentrated to the point where I don't need to season it. And with my heavy salt palate, I think some people might consider that a little overboard. But I'm going to finish up this plate. I seem to like most of the items on it. And all this past week, I've been getting one scoop of sorbet for dessert. And tonight I ordered a strawberry cheesecake, New York. And I think I'll jump in with the camera once I get that dessert. How inconsiderate of me to start eating my cheesecake before activating the camera. It's a cheesecake, but what is a little unappetizing is this side. Now, I know what a macerated strawberry is. That's something beyond a macerated strawberry. But it's not a huge piece. I should be able to get through it. Once I'm going to call this a coulis along the outside of the plate. You rub the spoon in that. You get it on the cheesecake. It's okay. Some graham cracker crust, which is what you typically get with a cheesecake, but not very thick. It's an eighth of an inch, if that. That's okay for me. It's fewer carbs because there's still plenty of carbs left in that right there, via the sugar and everything else that goes into a cheesecake. Onward. And it's night 4 here in the dining room. Appetizer options today. See if you can pick out which one Kenny is going to pick. We have deep fried coconut shrimp, seafood Newburg, beetroot salad, and broccoli cheddar soup. In 3, 2, 1, you got them. You're all wrong. I'm going with one of the standards that they have every day, the French onion soup. This is the soup I've been waiting for. My favorite. I can't wait to tear this one apart. As far as entrees go, see if you can pick out which one. I might trip you up on this one. Options tonight are fettuccine alfredo, jumbo shrimp, fish and chips, roasted beef tenderloin, and tofu vegetable teriyaki. Cue Jeopardy music now. What'd you pick? Yeah, you thought I'd go with the beef. I'm actually going to go with the fish and chips. And because I tied one on last night and didn't eat breakfast, I think I might go with either 1 or 2 desserts this time around. Stay tuned. We'll figure it all out. All right, so now we are looking at the French onion soup. And the first thing I like to do is just pull back a little bit of the cheese on the top so that the boiling lava underneath has a chance to breathe. Now, as I'm looking at it, I'm seeing a lot of fat floating to the top of the broth. There seems to be a trend with the soups in this dining room. All right. It kind of tastes like French onion soup. I'm picking up some type of flavor or something that I don't usually get in French onion soup.
Sir.
The onions seem properly cooked down. There's a lot of bread. There's an absurd amount of bread. I'm still trying to determine what that taste is. And I think I got it. In New England, when you make stuffing for Thanksgiving, and you use Bell's seasoning, I'm picking up on that. It may be from the bread. I don't know exactly what type of bread they use. Some of those herbs and or spices may be in there. Not the best I've ever had, but certainly not the worst. Okay, and we are up to the main course. I got fish and chips. And I'm kind of curious. Didn't ask if I wanted any vinegar or ketchup for the fries, which is typical of what you would use as a condiment. And, you know, as I am moving items around on the plate so I could break things down, it doesn't seem very hot. All right. So let's look at the fish. You're seeing what I'm seeing, right? You can see the grease just pouring out of the batter. Usually with battered fish and chips, you should just be able to take your fork and go right through it. This is it's an edible. It's an edible. I can't do it. Can't do it. No, this is an edible. It's an edible. You can't cut through the fish. And look at this. You got oil just coming out of that. I don't even want to try a second dish of that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
You want salmon?
I'll take.
Grilled salmon. It's very good grilled salmon. It's better than fish.
No, I'll just do the fettuccine alfredo.
Fettuccine alfredo.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Thank you. Do we have a pattern here? Well, it's definitely the temp. Okay, it's tender. It's just a real lousy knife. All right, so I've got the chicken cut into manageable pieces. All right, so I already know that the chicken needs salt. So we are gonna salt that chicken in a moment. And let's see how the Alfredo is with this fettuccine. Pasta is under. It's in that neighborhood right before al dente. They left it boiling for another minute, it would probably be where you want it. And the entire plate needs salt. Let's see if salt improves it. Salt makes it tolerable. But again, the pasta is undercooked. No, just under al dente. Another half minute, a minute. Al dente being to the tooth. This is really to the tooth. But I can get through it. I'll finish this up and we'll see what dessert looks like. Okay, so 2 desserts today because I'm a spina. One is an apple cake, call it multi-layer. And one is a dulce de leche cake. So I'm just gonna try the apple one first. It's moist and have great apple texture. You're getting a lot of apple, but it's flavorless, which is strange. It looks so deceiving. I mean, does it need some sugar, or what it needs? It needs whipped cream. That's what it needs. That would finish that off. Now for dulce de leche. I'm saving that one for last. That was good. Both of these are good. Just maybe one thing to maybe set it off over the top. I'm glad I ordered two. All right, dinner night 5. I think it's night 5. 6. Yeah, night 5. It's a Caribbean theme menu, and I am not a fan of Caribbean flavors or jerk chicken, but at the same time, I'm not really a fan of most of the standard items they have on the menu. So, what is Kenny going to get for an appetizer? The options are Guadalupe style coconut shrimp, callaloo spinach and artichoke dip, pimento spice chicken quesadilla, or black bean soup. Jeopardy music, please. Kenny's going to get the pimento spice chicken quesadilla. Those of you who chose that, you have just won nothing. The entrees tonight: penne with chicken and sausage, black and red snapper, slow roasted jerk pork loin, Jamaican pepper steak, and vegetable rundown. What's Kenny gonna get? Come on, come on, come on. Kenny is gonna get the penne with chicken and sausage. If you chose that, yeah, you still didn't win anything. Although now I'm looking at the Jamaican pepper steak. You know what? Those of you who said penne with chicken and sausage, you didn't win. I'm going to try the Jamaican pepper steak. Onions, rice, fried potatoes. I think I can deal with that. Once everything comes to the table, we'll take a look at it, and we'll be right back to you. Okay, we are looking at the quesadilla. Okay, it has flavor. Not necessarily the flavors I care for, but there's flavor, and I don't need to salt it, which is good. But what it could really use, sour cream. Sour cream would just put this right over the edge. The beans and corn that you saw on the plate, I won't be getting into that, and I don't think I need to say why. All right, just use your imagination. I'll finish up these quesadillas. I'll be back to you with the entree. So as I'm looking at this plate, I'm figuring out, okay, that rice is not going to be seasoned at all. The potatoes probably aren't seasoned. And I will get down to the breakdown with the meat in a second. But I couldn't help but notice, because I was thinking about seasoning, yeah, you saw that right. No salt at the table, but there are 2 peppers. You can't make this shit up. So this is billed as slow braised. Actually, let us pause right here for a second and go to the menu, which I've already lost, didn't I? Yes. Let me call it back up. What's a little bit of editing and post between friends, right? Okay, so this is billed as slow braised beef, peppers and onions, rice, and fried potatoes. Those kind of look like steak fries to me, for one. But it says peppers and onions, right? I don't see any onions. And there's one red pepper. I think there's going to be another late night run to the buffet. All right. Nothing special about it. No. Here's a little piece of the potato. Yeah, absolutely no seasoning at all. And I don't think it's fried. It's cooked. I think it's parboiled and then baked. So, yeah. That's what we have. We have pepper steak with pepper and onions without any pepper and onions. Yeah. All right. The rice is cooked properly. The rice isn't bad. But, that second potato, that second piece of potato, that first one was smaller and it was tender. I cut into the second one and it's undercooked. So, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
come on, you're MSC. You're supposed to do better. What the bleepity bleepity bleep 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 is this shit? This is key lime pie, according to the folks on MSC Grandiosa. That's not even the definition of pie. That's the definition of cake. What the? I mean, I'm trying to get it in focus for you. That's key lime pie? Go to hell.
I give you kill and pie this no.
As pineapple. As pineapple. Call that menu up again. I want to find out if there's something with pineapple listed in the desserts. Okay, so the desserts are Caribbean rum cake. No. Florida key lime pie. Nope. Grandma's chocolate cake. Nope. New York cheesecake. Nope. Lime coconut cake. Nope. You know, that might be it. Lime coconut cake. You know, this is pineapple, but it says mango compote. That still gets an X. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can actually get a piece of key lime pie.
No, but
If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, is it a duck? It's close to key lime pie. The graham cracker crust on the bottom is basically soaked, like it's uncooked. The curd has the tang that you get from key lime. Now, there are two different debates in Key West with key lime pie. Do you meringue it or do you do whipped cream? This is a slight, as you saw in the video, a slight little skim of whipped cream. Now this, I thought that was a dollop of whipped cream. They covered both bases, that's meringue. So you get both meringue and whipped cream. So that answers, or that solves the debate whether you meringue it or you use whipped cream.
Oh, yes, I don't like that. Oh, sorry. I don't use that.
Okay, so the Eggs Benedict is at the table, and are you ready for the reveal? We're gonna see how the cook on the egg is. They actually put a hollandaise this time that did not break, so the hollandaise is holding up. They got a better toast on the muffin, and we all know that with a proper poach with Benedict, when I cut into this, the egg should just runneth right over. Look at that. That is a perfect cook on that egg. So finally, an Eggs Benedict I get to enjoy. Okay, dinner day 6. Specials. Today, marinated octopus, stuffed baked mushrooms, vegetable spring rolls, and beef and barley soup. Which one of these is Kenny gonna get? You're wrong. I'm gonna get 2 of them because I can't make up my mind. I'm gonna be trying the spring rolls and the beef and barley soup. As far as entrees go, what direction do you think I'm going in? Penne Americano, wild barramundi, chicken coq au vin, slow braised lamb shake, or chef's Indian vegetarian. All right, which one? I am going with the kokovan. That's a dish made famous. Well, she didn't create it, but she brought it to everyone's attention. Julia Child. That was a recipe that she always nailed. I'm looking at desserts. Nothing's really jumping at me, so I'm probably just gonna get sorbet. I don't chocolate cake, New York cheesecake, fudge cake. Nothing's really doing anything. So we'll wait until the items come out and we'll take a look at them. Okay, these are the vegetable spring rolls. It tastes like a spring roll. There's nothing special about them. I think, as far as spring rolls are concerned, they're a little hard. I think the wrapper should give a little easier when you cut through it. In this case, one actually just tore apart when I tried to cut through it. But otherwise, the flavor is there. The texture, I think, a little bit too hard on the outside and a little too mushy on the inside, which tells me they may have dropped these for, I don't know, maybe half a minute or a minute longer than what they should have. Okay, this is the beef and barley soup. Again, there's grease floating on the top. Yep, that's definitely grease. Beef and barley soup is probably in the top 10 for me when it comes to soups. There's definitely a lot of body to this soup. There's something different when compared to other beef and barley soups. First off, there's a lot of grease, and the mouthfeel, you can definitely pick up on the grease. I just stirred it, and I just took a spoon, and there's grease already forming on it. You know, something there I can't quite place. There's a little something that gets you right here afterwards. And the beef is tender. It doesn't need salt. Doesn't need any additional seasonings. I just can't quite place that. There's this one element, but it's a decent soup, and I'll finish it. This is the chicken coq au vin. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna be anticipating here. I think it's overdone. Now, coq au vin typically has strong notes of bacon and mushroom. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of bacon in the pan sauce. Not picking up the taste of bacon at all. Matter of fact, this pan sauce, I can tell you exactly what it tastes like. That brown gravy mix you get in a little packet and you add to a cup of water. Yeah, that's what it tastes like. Dinner night 7, and it looks like it's Italian night because all the tables vomited up the colors of the Italian flag, and all the waiters have a vest on in the colors of the Italian flag. And then I look at the menu and I see, yeah, it's Italian. So the daily specials today: caprese salad, fried calamari, Italian antipasto, and minestrone genovese. What's Kenny gonna get? If you chose antipasto in this case, yeah, you win, and you win Jack. Oh, yeah, I was going to say shit. But, no one's around here. If you picked antipasto, you win jack shit. On to the entrees. We have linguine, we have baked grouper, we have chicken parmigiana, veal ossobuco, and Voodles Primavera. Which one is Kenny going to get? If you chose veal ossobuco, you would be correct. When the dishes come out, we'll take a look at them. Okay, it's cold cuts. I don't think I need to review them, so I'm gonna enjoy this, and we'll get back to you when the entree comes out. Okay. So it is tender. I think the cook is fine. Don't really care too much for the sauce on it. There's something stinging in it. Like some, it's like there's some capsaicin or something in here. Something that you would not expect to have with veal ossobuco. I think I'm gonna need some salt to combat that. Capsaicin is the only thing I can describe it by. Served with polenta. I think all there is butter. I don't think there's anything else in that. Polenta. Well, a little bit of salt will fix that. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. I'll catch you later on. Okay, so what did I think about my 7-night journey on MSC Grandiosa? Let's go over some of the hits. The crew is professional and courteous, with the exception of one drink service waitress who just kept walking around doing nothing. Everybody was super professional and courteous. I honestly think that the service I got was top notch. And in fact, even after only one day, many of the crew members were already remembering my name. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. The ship is elegant. The ship is clean. It's certainly easy to get around in. And there's only one you can't get there from here instances that I ran into. But that was remedied simply by going from the starboard to the port side of the vessel. My stateroom, whilst an interior, was spacious. I can't imagine 4 people staying in there though. The bathroom had plenty of room to function, and the shower, for a man of my size, well, it was not an issue at all. It had a real glass door, and the water pressure coming out of the shower head was some of the best water pressure that I've had in a shower out at sea in quite some time. The food in the main dining room was decent at times. When it was decent, it was better than Carnival and Royal. You know, we'll touch upon that in a little bit. As far as the buffet is concerned, the few times that I went, the food was decent. I didn't have any complaints. It was decent food for a buffet. I will have to note that the pizza on board Grandiosa, just like any other MSC ship, is probably some of the best pizza you can get at sea. In fact, I was talking with one of the cooks on the ship, and in one day, they make over 1,100 pizzas. The theater does not have a bad seat in the house. There are no poles or columns or support beams in the way. There are no weird sideways or corner facing seats. The seats are comfortable. You don't have any type of railings blocking a view anywhere in the entire theater. The one downfall is that you cannot bring your drink in with you. Let's go over some of the misses, and unfortunately there are more misses than hits on this particular sailing. The Wi-Fi situation on board this ship is horrendous. Now, across every other cruise line, I'm able to disconnect one device and go on to another device. You still only have one device connected at the same time, at once, right? Nope, not here. They lock down your MAC address. So if I wanted to use another device, it was going to be another $145 to add that device. At that point, I bought $30 worth of international cellular roaming and did what I needed to do whenever I was in port. Shame on MSC for trying to nickel and dime you that way. That's rotten. On top of that, the Wi-Fi itself, I don't know who manages the network, but every time you went on and off an elevator or went from one area to another, it seemed that the Wi-Fi was dropped. It wasn't handshaking with the access points properly. The switching was not flawless. And on the final day, in through the night, I had internet very intermittently, even though I was on the ship's Wi-Fi. I'd say probably 85 to 90% of the time I could not get online, even with my one dedicated device locked down to that MAC address. Oh, and if you want to use a VPN, forget about it. The only outdoor deck on this vessel is the top deck. There is no open deck promenade type level like you have on most other ships. I kind of like going down to the lower decks outside. It tends to be a little less windy. You get to look out over the railing. It's enjoyable. It's relaxing. Now, I do understand that the Miravilia class ships were primarily built for a colder northern environment, but come on, a lot of the other ships designed for the Mediterranean, they have an outdoor deck on a lower level. When the food was off, it was really off. I had to send a plate back at least twice. Either it was undercooked or overcooked, or it was simply the wrong thing brought to me. A lot of the food lacked seasoning. Thankfully, that was remedied by a healthy shake of salt. Embarkation and disembarkation was constantly a cluster on this sailing. The initial embarkation was mismanaged and so out of control and disorganized. I'm amazed I even got onto the ship. At ports of call, it was near impossible trying to get, well, I shouldn't say impossible. It was another cluster trying to get back onto the ship. In Cozumel, it took over an hour to get onto the ship in port. There's no need for that when there's a royal ship who just had the people funneling right on in. I was told that the security staff was cut down to 17 crew members, and that's why they could only have one person at the metal detector and scanning your badge. And again, shame on you, MSC, for letting that happen. There's a lot of mismanagement and disorganization involved, and you plainly saw it with getting on and off the ship. At one port where we had a tender, I waited over 2 hours. That is unreasonable. The only time it was really quick for me to get on or off the ship was at disembarkation when I was kicked off. And that was only because I let myself off at 7 a.m. The ship is too large for the number of venues and the sizes of the venues. Much like Sun Princess, you have many activities taking place one after another, and you only have a limited number of smaller venues. And what happens is people come from one activity, and then they stay for the next, and stay for the next, and stay for the next. Thus, you have 3, 4, 5 seats turning over in between activities. That's unacceptable. Also, I believe it was the TV lounge where a lot of the activities were going on, and they had that issue with seating. That's where the karaoke took place. Now, if you follow my channel, you know I like to get up and show off. I didn't sing karaoke once, because even when I would show up an hour early, I couldn't get a damn seat in that venue. On top of that, that particular venue was just so hot. You just stand there, and after 5 minutes, at least with me, I was sweating. They need to do something about that. And, due to the number of venue spaces, the activities were kind of limited. And halfway through, I became bored. I couldn't wait to get off the ship. And speaking of getting bored with entertainment and activities, I really wish there were additional activities. It was the same thing. You know what? By day 4, it was like Groundhog Day to me. All right, the same type of activity here, the same steel drum player here, the same reggae guitarist here, all playing the same tracks, but just playing in a different location of the ship every day. There was not enough variety. I logged 15,000 steps a day, just pacing the ship, looking for something that would pull my attention in. For a 7-day sailing, there was no high production show at all. In fact, out of all the shows, only 2 had a live band performing, and it wasn't even a full band. There was no bass guitarist, and they were playing a track for that and tracks for other instruments. I understand the other instruments, but if you're going to have a performance in a theater, find a bass player. I know there was one on the ship because he was playing in a band. Now, all of the shows were song and choreographed dance skits or acts. And it was the same people every night, just a different genre. Now, on one night during the song and dance productions, even the lead vocal was lip synced. Now, I'm a smoker, but I only use dedicated smoking areas. The casino, I can tell you right now, did have a small smoking area. The entire casino smells like cigarettes on this vessel, as does the entire hallway that leads up to it, and the venue behind it, the carousel lounge. That just smelled like cigarettes as well. In fact, coming out into the public area beyond the main hallway, going down to the casino, you could smell the cigarettes. Now, Virgin Voyages can create a little room that people can go in and gamble and smoke, and then you can walk by and not even realize the room is there. Why can't any of the other cruise lines? It doesn't seem that complicated. The casino cash out and bill breaking machine was down for the entire cruise after the first day. This means that you couldn't get any change made unless you went to the cage. Now, the cage refused to break bills. Even a $5 bill, I asked to be converted to 5 singles, and the cage would not do it. Yet they had a stack of singles in there, I saw it. And the only thing that did, it hurt their fellow crew members, because that means I have something less, to tip the bartenders with. Shame on you, MSC Grandiosa cage. I know this is trivial, but the ice cream, at least the soft serve, you can only get it from 12 to 5. Come on. Now and then I want a soft serve at 5:30. The smart elevators are only as smart as the dumb people using them. All right? If you're in a party of 6, you're supposed to smash that button half a dozen times. That way the car knows how many people it's expecting to pick up, and it can program itself appropriately. Now, these same people they're the ones who will stand right in front of that door and then charge to go into the elevator before they even let anyone off. So I doubt they would ever comprehend something as complicated as pushing a button for the number of people in your party. So in conclusion, I was not impressed. As a gold MSC cruiser, I can tell you that this was not up to MSC standards compared to other sailings. The experience just lacked what you typically get with MSC. Now, you can get over, 1 or 2 large issues, but then after that, all these little issues, they start to just add up and add up and add up and add up. Did you ever, hear the saying, it goes back to sales years and years and years ago, elephants don't bite, all right? Have you ever been bit by an elephant? No. Have you been stung by a bee? Yeah, it's the small things. And if you get a couple of these things, it turns into a big thing. Now, some folks say that they were trying to transform a European ship to an American ship. I don't buy that as an excuse. MSC has standards across their entire fleet, no matter if you're in the Caribbean or Mediterranean. Typically, MSC does have high standards. I honestly think they missed the mark this time around. This obviously won't keep me from going on an MSC sailing in the future, but I highly doubt I will be going on to Grandiosa again. If you found this content interesting, educational, or amusing, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow. Thank you.